Hi, I'm Mick West of Metabunk.org. This is some old footage of a supposed UFO that's recently resurfaced, and it was new to me, and so I took a look at it, and it occurred to me that these appear to be in a configuration of a triangle, which kind of looks like a regular plane's landing lights moving across the sky. So I said this on the Facebook group where I saw this, and people said that, you know, if it's a plane, why doesn't the plane body obscure the stars that are behind it? Which is a reasonable explanation, a reasonable objection. Now, interestingly, I then found that the video was very old, and it was actually comes from the ABC in 1996. And I'm going to show you the actual video from the time.
We had hoped to be able to explain it to you, but in some respects it's all the more wonderful that we can't. Here's our science correspondent, Michael Gillen.
The sighting you're about to see was recorded by a powerful Air Force telescope high on a mountaintop on the island of Maui, when suddenly these bright objects appeared. The Air Force declined to comment officially, but a key officer involved in the sighting says these are probably nothing more than airplane lights.
Could this be an airplane?
It seems unlikely that...
Dr. Robert Nathan of NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab is the father of digital image processing, with a skeptical attitude towards UFOs.
If it were an airplane, I think that we would see as it moved across the screen that the body of the airplane in front would have struck the stars as it moved, and as we examined that thing, the image, it didn't seem to have that effect.
So yeah, even back then they were giving the exact same objection that, you know, if it was a plane, why isn't it obscuring the stars? And so I thought about this, and I think the reason is that the lights are essentially being blurred. The telescope that they use to video this is aiming at the stars, so it's got this kind of long exposure where they use the persistence of the image from frame to frame to build up the image of the stars over a few frames so you can actually see better. And that's having the effect that it's blurring out these trails of the light, and it's also making the stars not disappear so much when the plane goes over them. Also, there's a lot of wobbling around in this image, and there's all this distortion here from the light that is streaking across, and so it makes it very hard to see if things are actually distorting. But what's actually going on? I did a little mock-up here in Photoshop of what you might expect. Here's a plane moving across the sky. You can see the black silhouette of the plane obscuring the sky behind it. I just put a grey background in, but let me remove that. And so here is the plane moving across the sky. Now you can see it's actually quite hard to see the silhouette of the plane, even though the silhouette is actually there. However, you can actually see it obscure the stars as it goes by. Now this is because this is like a proper video where every single shot is perfectly in focus, and things don't persist from frame to frame. So what I did is I rendered out this video of this plane moving across the starfield, and I took it into Adobe Aftereffects, and I have the same video here, and I added this effect to it, the echo effect, which we have over here, configured over here. And when I play this now, it's creating these trails by essentially persisting the image for, let's see, 10 frames I think we have here. So the stars persist because they don't move, so you don't see any change other than the background getting a bit grayer and brighter, which is something you actually see in the video. You get this grey sky rather than a black sky that you would expect. And the trails actually are extended like this. Now if we zoom in to this, you can see it's not really extinguishing the stars with the body of the plane. You see a little, like if you look at this star here, you will see a little dimming as it goes by, but it's actually less dimming than you see with the general wobbling of the atmosphere in the original video. So I think this actually demonstrates quite well the persistence of the light from frame to frame, which is something you'd expect in an astronomical camera, is quite possibly what's causing the stars not to be extinguished and what is causing these trails to appear behind the lights of a plane.